Hey, what's up ladies and gents, SpoonyPizzas here, bringing you another eFootball 2023 player pack review. Now, there's been quite a lot of packs in the recent update, and I'm going to be focusing on mainly two in particular, because the great captains, there's like 150 players in there. The chance of you getting Gerrard, Stojkovic and Park Ji-sung is pretty minimal, so I'm not really going to focus on those too much. If those are players that you see and you really want, then go for it. I imagine if you're a Liverpool supporter, you want Steven Gerrard, that's going to make sense. The ones I want to focus on primarily are the nominating contracts, because that means you get to actually choose these players yourself, providing you've got the relevant nominating contract for the player, so it's a 5-star or 4-star. So we'll start with the Golden Boys first, shall we? Okay, so up first we've got Vlahovic, who is a centre forward, 190 centimeters tall. He's got 25 levels, so you can actually level these players up, unlike the next nominating contract pack, which I'm going to show you. So you can mold him as you see fit. Now, if I was going to boost his stats, I would definitely focus on the offensive awareness, his finishing maybe, just make him an out-and-out goal poacher. He is a goal poacher at the minute. Obviously, if you boost his offensive awareness, that boosts his acceleration and his balance. So those are good things to have anyway. So I'd recommend maximizing that dexterity as much as you probably can. Certainly get the offensive awareness up to at least 86 and maybe above. Then you want to probably focus on his ball control, because obviously when he receives the ball, you want to try and keep that fairly high. I would say 80-ish as a minimum. Reason for that is obviously, if he's going to receive the ball, the last thing you want to do is hit spinning off his foot and rolling through to the goalkeeper. And then obviously his finishing, you want to try and boost that just a little bit as well. 84 is decent, but obviously if you can get around to 88, I think it'll be fairly prolific for you. His heading is a little bit low. Taking a look at the player skills, now he's got heading, knuckle shot, dipping shot, first time shot. So for me, he hasn't got first time passing or one touch passing, which means he's not going to link the play all that well, but he is just primarily one of these players you just get the ball to him and hit it as hard and as quickly as you can. So I would say, the first time shot is perfect for this type of player. He's very much like the mold of a Haaland, in my opinion, because he's got fairly low balance but good physical contact. So he is going to be easy to push off the ball. So again, like I said, if you boost the dexterity of this player, I think you could have a worthwhile striker. And then next up is Saliba. So he's got great defensive awareness, 193 centimeters tall. One of probably the star players in this pack, along with Vlahovic. So, like I said, if I was going to train this player, he's got 20 levels of training. I would focus on the defensive awareness, boosting that further, and his other defensive attributes. Maybe boost his acceleration just a little bit, because he's got decent speed. I don't really need to focus on the speed so much. And then whether you want to make him, better at ball control, because obviously if you're passing across the back, you don't want him messing up, so you may want to just put 4 points into dribbling. If we look at his player skills, he's got heading, weighted pass, man marking, interception, blocker, aerial superiority and acrobatic clearance. So some really good traits there: interception and blocker, and the man marking in particular, especially aerial superiority and acrobatic clearance. So very solid defensively, so I would definitely recommend this player. Guardiola, now he has been a sensation at the World Cup, but unfortunately his defensive awareness makes him very hard to recommend. He hasn't got good offensive abilities to play as a fullback, and he has got the build-up role, so you're going to more likely play him as a centre-back. For me personally, I think his defensive awareness is absolutely shocking. I think it's far too low, but it is what it is. He has got some decent pace about him, but for me, he is definitely a pass. I don't think he's worth 5 stars at all. He's got loads of player skills: interception, blocker, aerial superiority, acrobatic clearance. Those are the key ones. He's got man marking, but for me, I would just give this guy a pass because his defensive awareness is far too low. The players like Romario, anyone with high offensive awareness is just going to run off the back of this guy, and you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Saka up next for England. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've played with Saka multiple times. I don't think he's that good a dribbler. He's very flexible, whereas he can play pretty much anywhere on the left hand side, including fullback, which is quite nice. That's probably his best position because he's so quick and gets up and down the pitch really nicely. But in the wide areas, I just find him not all that effective, to be honest. I just run down the wing, I cut back, and I pass it back to my fullback or my inside midfielder or even my striker if he's through. But I just can't get this guy to work for me all that well. The player that I would recommend as a winger personally would be Grealish. Jack Grealish is one of my favourite wingers. I've got loads on my head that are really, really good, like Mahrez. Jadon Sancho is probably like tier 2, but tier 1 I would say Mahrez and Grealish are two of the best, for in my opinion, best wingers that feel good that you can buy for GP. Anyway, let's focus on Saka here. So he's got one-touch passing, low lofted passing, nice to have. He hasn't got pinpoint crossing. Probably another reason why I can't get much out of this guy. So crossing the ball isn't a great idea. He is good at dribbling with the ball, but he hasn't got double touch. He's got scissor feint and Marseille turn, which are nice to have. But for me, I just think his end product is really lacking. 65 for finishing, 76 for lofted passing. So you're going to have to boost probably one or those using those levels of training if you want to try and maximise him. But then again, you have to boost his perhaps his ball control and dribbling, get that up a little bit, maybe even speed a bit if you want to make him a complete speedster. So yeah, for me, he is a pass. Nuno Mendes, so he plays at left back and he's an offensive fullback, but I can't recommend him. His lofted pass is too low, his curling is too low, his kicking power is too low, so crossing into the box are going to be fairly weak in my opinion. He's just all about speed, and for me, again, I can't recommend him, especially for 5 stars. This is just ridiculous. Pinpoint crossing is decent, low lofted passing, interception, so he's got some defensive qualities there, but his defensive engagement and his defensive awareness is far too low, in my opinion, to make him a defensive fullback. So yeah, I can't recommend this guy at all. Sergio Dest, the final players of the 5-star ratings. He is slightly better in terms of being a fullback, an offensive fullback, with lofted pass at 74, but his curling 66. There's better players out there you can go and get. I would highly recommend, especially at left back, is either Grimaldo, or even better than him is Guerrero. Definitely a really, really nice player to have at fullback for GP, and he's not all that expensive. So this player I can't really recommend. He has got double touch, which is great for going forward. One touch passing is nice to have. Pinpoint crossing, so he's fairly decent. Like if you totally out of ideas for right backs, then this guy wouldn't be all that bad. But for me, it's an easy pass. Apologies, there's one more player that has 5 stars, and that is Doku. To be honest, he is just purely a speedster with low end product. 61 for finishing, 73 for low passing, 62 for lofted passing. He's going to be absolutely useless. He's good at running with the ball, but that's about it. I don't know why he's 5 star. He's got double touch, hasn't got single, one touch passing. For me, an easy pass again. These players aren't very good, are they, at all? Moving on to Timber, 4 stars. So for 4 stars, I would probably recommend this guy over Gvardiol, simply for the fact he's got better defensive awareness and he's got real good speed. So even though he's lacking that defensive awareness, you can boost it with 21 levels of training, which is what I would focus on, primarily his defensive aspect. I would say that, he is, like he said, he's quick across the ground. So even if he does get caught out by the better strikers, if you are playing a high line using a possession-based style, he is going to be able to chase back very, very quickly and get back to defend. His physical contact is a little bit low, so I would recommend, instead of going shoulder to shoulder or attacking the striker from behind, make sure you get around in front of him if you're both running towards goal. Just make sure you get in front of the striker first and then make your tackle, because his physical contact's simply not good enough. Let's take a look at his player skills. Interception, blocker, acrobatic clearance, all the key ones to have. He's also got fighting spirit, means he's not going to deteriorate too quickly, especially at high pace, and some stamina's at 77, so that's good to have as well. So yeah, and he's got 1 touch passing as well, which is a nice little bonus. So definitely a recommendation there for the 4-star Justin Timber. Did I just say Justin Timber? I was thinking Justin Timberlake. Sorry about that. Okay, next up, Cutis. So, to be honest, I can't recommend this guy. Can't recommend him. Again, low output. 74 finishing, 69 for lofted passing. He's quick. He's got good kicking power, fairly decent balance. For 4 stars, is he worth it? Not for me personally. He hasn't got one-touch passing. He's got weighted passing. Hasn't got through passing. He's got lofted passing, but an interception. I mean, you know, he can play centre forward. He can play attack midfield. He can play centre midfield. But none of these positions really suit his stats, to be honest. And for me, he's an easy pass. Don't go for this player. And finally, for 3 stars, we have Okafor, who's a goal poacher. And for 3 stars, it's hard to recommend him, to be honest. You'd have to boost that defensive awareness a hell of a lot to make him a decent goal poacher. His finishing 67. For me, another easy pass, you know, but you have to take into consideration he is a 3-star player. But I think we may find some better players or better 3-star players in the Brazil pack. I have not seen yet, but we'll take a look and find out. But for me, this guy is an easy pass. One last player at 3 stars is this guy here. So taking a look at his skills, he is a box-to-box defensive midfielder, and he's got really good defensive engagement, good aggression, good speed and acceleration, okay passing. So for 3 stars, this is not a bad player at all, but his player skills are severely lacking. No passing abilities here in his player skills. He has got interception, but there's probably better defensive midfielders you could pick up for very, very cheap. So again, an easy pass to skip over. Okay, next up is the Brazil pack. So we'll just start off with the 5-star players. And we're going to start off with this chap here who looks very, very solid. Just remember that these players do not have any levels of training, so I can't suggest where you actually put points. But for me, this is one of the better 5-star players that I've seen. He's got very, very nice. He's going to feel great on the ball. Great on the ball. But if we just take a look at his player skills as an attacking midfielder, it's a bit of a disgrace that he hasn't got one-touch passing, so make sure you take a touch before you pass the ball. He's got through passing though, and pinpoint crossing. He's got some decent shooting abilities as well, especially that high kicking power and high finishing, so you are going to be able to score the odd long ranger with this guy, and he's going to be fairly prolific. And like I said, he's going to feel great on the ball, operate in tight spaces, and if he gets a chance to shoot on goal, definitely try and get his shot off as soon as you can. So yeah, definitely a recommended player for 5 stars. And then we have Hulk, who is a centre forward, deep lying forward. And obviously look at that kicking power. 93, 91 physical contact, but his balance is kind of low. So he's going to be easy to push off the ball and sort of lower his actual ability of striking the ball. He's got decent finishing, but as a deep lying forward, I think he could probably work, especially that physical contact. If you can hold the player off, shield the ball, get the ball out of his feet, and then just unleash stunning shot after stunning shot, I think he could do a job. Let's just take a look at his player skills. So yeah, if we look at this, he's got long range curler, which is very nice to have, especially that high kicking power. That could be interesting. He's got pinpoint crossing, acrobatic finishing, and dipping shot. So the dipping shot is obviously quite a nice one to have, especially with the high kicking power as well. So yeah, decent 5-star player. I think he's one of these players that you would not really look to use as a player who's super effective, but if you want a little bit of fun with a player, then I think this guy's got it. Next up is Pedro, so a 4-star card, who is a centre forward, decent offensive awareness, very nice finishing, good heading ability. He's not the quickest, but that doesn't matter because he's got decent balance and physical contact stats, and he's 186 centimeters in height, and he's got decent jumping with 79. He's got acrobatic finishing, heading, and first time shots. So he's going to be one of these players that you cross the ball in, especially with that fox in the box roll. I keep mentioning this, but just in case you missed one of my other videos, that fox in the box roll is going to be really important for this guy, and definitely going to get or help you get on the end of crosses with this guy. So this is probably an easy recommendation for a 4-star card or 4-star nominating contract. I think this is a fantastic player, definitely worth probably picking up. And the final 4-star nominating contract is this guy here, who's got great goalkeeping awareness and reflexes. So an easy recommendation. His reach is a little bit low, but to be honest, I think with 195 centimeters, he's an absolute giant in goal. And for 4 stars, if you've not got a good goalkeeper, then I could easily recommend this guy. He's got goalkeeper low punt, which means you can kick it out to the wide players when he's got the ball in his hands, and he's got penalty saver as well. Nice to have. I lied. There is one more 4-star nominating contract, and this is Ed Nilsson, or Eden Nilsson, should I say, sorry. He is a central midfielder, box to box, and he's got the qualities to support that. He's got good ball control, dribbling, low passing, lofted passing, good finishing, so he can do the offensive side of things. He's also got some defensive engagement as well, 95, and 73 for aggression. That is really good to have, and he's got the stamina to back it up. This box to box role, he's going to get up and down the pitch, and he's got decent acceleration and pace, and another worthwhile player. But let's just take a look at his player skills before we completely are sold on this player. One touch passing, through passing, those are great to have. First time shot, pinpoint crossing, low lofted passing are nice to have as well. He's got some long range shooting. His kicking power is 75, so yeah, he could score the odd long ranger as well. So a very, very nice player, and he's very versatile. He can play central midfield, defensive midfield, right midfield, and even right back if necessary. So very, very nice player to have who can play multiple roles. Now moving on to the 3-star nominating contracts, and first up is a box-to-box left-sided midfielder. I don't think I've ever seen a box-to-box left-sided midfielder in my time. Maybe there's some players that I've perhaps missed, but don't ever remember seeing that. But he has got central midfield. He can play central midfield, he can play attack midfield, he can play left wing forward as well. And looking at his stats, he's okay. For 3-star contracts, these players are pretty good. They're players that probably could still get in your side with a high tight possession, dribbling and ball control, especially that sort of midfield area. He's fairly quick as well across the ground, got good stamina, balance, and if we look at his player skills, he is missing the one-touch passing, so perhaps I wouldn't play him in that midfield, especially, and no through ball ability as well. He has got pinpoint crossing, so I'd probably use him as a winger. Unfortunately, he's a right-footed player, so you have to cut in and do his business there. He's got decent finishing to get a shot off which is 77, and his curling is 83. So yeah, he could probably curl the odd shot in from the corner, but I think he's a better winger than he is going to be in that central midfield area. Terence, who is up next, and he is a whole player, plays as a support striker, but he can play the left midfield and left wing forward positions. And again, very, very nice player. 84 acceleration, 80 speed. That's a lot of that disparity between speed and acceleration. Balance is good too, as is his dribbling, tight possession and ball control. So he's going to feel great on the ball. For 3 stars, these players are absolutely ideal, if you ask me. But the only problem is no one-touch passing, no pinpoint crossing, and so that would rule him out for me for being a winger. As a support striker, it's a bit disappointing he hasn't got through ball or one-touch passing. So you're going to have to use him primarily as one of these players who gets the ball and takes a shot from that support striker role, and then uses your striker as more or less a dummy runner or goal poacher, just to push the defense back, to create space for this guy to get shots off, because he has got long range curler, long range shooting, knuckle shot, dipping shot. So one of these players that I would probably like to have, if I was going to spend or use my 3-star card, I think it would be this guy. I really do like the look of this guy. Next up is Janineo. He is very quick, very fast for a left back, 87 speed. 87 acceleration, 85 speed. Good curling, good lofted passing, dribbling, ball control. This guy is absolutely insane. And he has got pinpoint crossing. I was just about to say, I couldn't see it on there for a second. Interception as well. For 3 stars, my goodness, this has to be one of the best fullback 3-star cards I've ever seen. So definitely pick this guy up if you've got a 3-star card. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. He's got great output, really quick, good balance, good physical contact, aggression. He's defensively, he is probably a little bit lacking with that defensive engagement being 62, but as an offensive fullback, yeah, I could definitely see a use for him. For 3 stars, I think that's an absolute bargain. Rene up next, who is an offensive fullback, another left back, also 89 rated, but for me, he's not as good. His curling, his lofted passing isn't all that great. He has got good kicking power, good stamina, decent speed, but compared to the other guy, I don't think he stands or holds a candle to him, to be honest. He's got pinpoint crossing, interception, soul control, which is nice to have, but to be honest, the other left back is far better. Centre forward, Fox in the box, 3 stars, and this guy is absolutely insane for 3 stars. 89 for offensive awareness, 89 finishing. What the actual hell? What is this guy all about? One-touch passing, first-time shot, acrobatic finishing. Are you insane? Heading ability, 78 for heading. Jumping is 70. That's pretty decent. He's got good balance, 77. How good are these 3-star players? This is another recommended signing. Wow. I'm surprised that some of these 3 stars are really like standing up, but definitely get this guy. Fox in the box as well. So great for crosses. Getting into the crosses or anything like that. Really, really nice. And finally, another 3-star is a defender. Cutis, I believe his name is. He's got the best build-up style, in my opinion, for the centre-back position, which is build-up. And oh my goodness. What is going on with these 3-star guys? This guy is insane as well. He's left-footed, so we can play on the left side. Quite rare to have a left side or left-footed centre-back. But look at his height, 187 centimeters tall. But look at that. Defensive awareness, 87. He's going to be able to deal with some of the best strikers in the game. 79 defensive engagement isn't all that great, so you're going to have to make sure you get around that striker, but he's going to be able to like track him really nicely and get in a good position in the first place. So you're going to be able to have a bit of a head start there. His physical contact is 84, so you are going to be able to muscle him off using the matchup button. Use that, I would say, rather than anything else in order to make your tackles. But this guy is absolutely insane. Another 3-star wonder kid. What the hell? This is one of the best 3-star packs I've ever seen in this game. He's got 1-touch passing, interception, aerial superiority. You know, it would be nice if he had blocking, but to be honest, interception is good enough. And slide tackling and captaincy. Wow. And look at this. I mean, I'm not even covering off his passing. Passing, 77. Ball control, 77. Lofted passing, 82. This is one of the best centre backs I've seen for 3 stars. Easy 3-star signings. I'm going to use all my 3-star cards on this pack, I think. So there we are, ladies and gents. Wow. What a pack that is. I mean, like, it's hard to pick between all of these players, to be honest. I probably have this guy here, Arasqueta, hopefully I said his name right, as a 5-star card. For the 4-star card, it really does depend what you need. If you need a goalkeeper, then he would be pretty decent. If you need a striker, I would probably opt for Kano over Pedro. And Ed Nelson is okay. He's a pretty decent box-to-box midfielder. But for me, the stars of this pack, surprisingly, is Janineo, Cuesta, and Kano. Those players are insane. Those are my 3 picks for 3 stars. Those are easy 3-star picks. Anyway, that is pretty much it for me, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for watching. I'm being blown away by these packs. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Until then, take care, guys. Bye-bye.